Never did at the workshop, and I finalised how I want the exhaust to sit in the bumper, and it's just like that. So it's further back than it was, so it only just pokes out, which is what I want on a big sticky out one. And I've cut about an inch. I haven't finished yet, this is literally a rough cut I did in 2 seconds. Cut about an inch out so it sits up into it a bit, and yeah, it's bang on. Exactly how I'm gonna mount the bumper yet, not decided, because all the standard mounting stuff apart from on the ends is gone, but that's, you know, basic. But the rest is sorted, so that's good. I think it looks cool as fuck, absolutely ideal. So I'm gonna keep all this in place, so I've got a, you know, good decent mock-up position, and try and work out how to do the rest of it. That is the adapter welded up, all done. I've changed my mind on something as well. I'm not going to bother running that fucking race car. I can't be bothered. I decided that weighs too much. It's more messing about than I could be bothered with. And this car, you know, it's going to flame like fuck anyway, as if I need that. So no, I can't be bothered with that. I think I'd prefer that as the actual tailpipe anyway, like World Rally cars. I don't, you know, being back there, nah, fuck that. So I'll save that for another project, but yeah, this is done. Looking pretty good. As you can see, I made it all fucking Instagram spec pretty, as in, you know, it looks like one seamless fancy piece, and it's fucking not. It's same as all this bullshit you see on internet pictures and whatever. Literally, that's fucking MIG welded, and I ground down all the welds smooth. It's bollocks. Basically, it impresses people on the fucking internet, but reality is, A, you can't see this part, B, that makes it fucking weaker because you're removing loads of metal, and C, it just takes time for nothing. I literally did it, A, to prove to myself it's a waste of fucking time, and B, to show you it's a waste of fucking time. If you're just doing normal MIG welds that aren't super pretty, and it's not somewhere it actually matters because people can fucking see it, just don't bother. Just leave it. Literally, that was a complete waste of time, like, from a functionality point of view. You can't even see it because it's underneath the car, and if anything, it's made it weaker. I kind of regret it, because I'm thinking, oh god, I hope it don't fucking ever crack, because I made the metal weaker by grinding all the welds back smooth. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's bollocks. But hey, it looks pretty for extra Instagram likes, if that's what you really give a fuck about. So yeah, job done. Pretty sure I'm going to weld a 3-inch V-band to the end of that, and that can be the whole rear section. Then I can worry about the rest from there. I think if I make any more of the system without a V-band being there, it'd just make it awkward to mount. It's not worth it. Not worth it. So I'm going to weld a V-band on that, and then fit it back up where I want it to sit, and then make the rest of the system. Job done. V-band's welded on, and this time I haven't ground it down because it gives a fuck, doesn't matter. To be fair, I did grind it down slightly there just because I ballsed it up so much. I didn't know if the clamp would go on properly, so I ground it off just to make sure the clamp would sit right. Just on that bit and left the rest. It's fine, nothing wrong with it. You know, I can't weld neat, not really. I can weld strong, and that's all that fucking matters, really. So, hey, that's where we are. I suppose I better bolt this back up and work out where the rest of the system's going. And this is why I don't throw anything away. I was thinking earlier, I've probably not got enough 3-inch stainless steel to make the full system, and certainly have to buy some silencers and stuff. And then I had to hunt around all my shit, and I've got all this plus what's already on the car. I mean, I've done the downpipe already, so yeah, I've definitely got enough to make the rest of the system on this. So rather than a few £100 at least, because I mean, what's the silencer cost these days? Fucking £100 at least for an half decent one. You know, bends are what, £25 a pop when they're like 3-inch stainless. You know, it all adds up. Exhausts, you know, they ain't cheap to make, really. But yeah, this is definitely enough. I've got 3 silencers, 2 little ones and 1 quite big one. A lot of bends of, you know, various, from little tiny pie cuts to tight 90s to everything in between. I've got a few straight bits, but to be honest, anywhere where there's straight, I would like to try and put a silencer if I have, you know, if I can. So yeah, this is where we are. This will be enough to make a system. It's got to be. I just don't know what I can fit silencer wise. I reckon I could probably fit those two because they're proper slim. They're 3-inch all the way through, but they don't take up much room. That one under the car, I'm not so sure about. That one originally was a Subaru Impreza back box. I think that one was on the Impreza as well. That, I don't know, maybe off the Volvo once upon a time? I can't remember. A lot of these I'm not sure what they were originally off. That was off a 18T. That was actually the complete bonnet exit, hood exit, what you want to call it, off Mark's old Renault 5 Turbo when it had the C1J and like a GTX 2860 Gen 2. That was literally out the back of the turbo, whoop, out the bonnet. Progress. I've started making up the exhaust from the back to the front, and yeah, it's going really well. I have now, thankfully, realised I've got room for both of those small silencers, which is great news because that's probably still too loud for track. Not 100% on that, but yeah, probably. But it won't be fucking ridiculously loud because I don't like ridiculously loud cars. So yeah, and as you can probably see, looking pretty bloody good. Again, it's literally only tacked in place from the V-band on the back section forwards and held up with cable ties and jack stand and all sorts, but that's the best way of working out. I quite like building exhausts. I built the custom 4-inch turbo back exhaust on my old Skyline, and again, literally 4-inch turbo back, and it had more ground clearance than most of these fucking crappy 3-inch ones you buy, and it wasn't even that loud, and it was, yeah, literally 4-inch all the way through, didn't rattle against the body, nothing. It was, I do quite like building exhausts. And bearing in mind, the only part of this exhaust that isn't just something I had lying around so far is the V-bands. I mean, literally, I'm just using shit I had kicking around. A lot of it used. So, but it's damn good. I'll show you what we got. So, V-band, then a bend that's already been used and welded on and all sorts of shit. And then another bend, and then a little straight bit. Then the silencer off, I think, the Volvo. Notice I put the prop in place just so I had a rough idea. I mean, it's obviously, this isn't the prop it's going to be used, it's going to be a modified one. I just needed to make sure there was going to be clearance, and there is, so that's not a problem. So yeah, it's a silencer, it clears everything at the moment. Like, I can get my hand right around there. It's not like it's even too close to the fuel pump, the fuel tank I mean. The other silencer at the moment is literally balanced in place with my cable tie skills. Again, it's not actually touching the body, but it's probably no lower than the chassis rails really, definitely higher than the gearbox cross member, clears prop shaft and stuff, and will run quite nicely into the silencer. And then the final bit is the trickiest bit, but I'm worried about that after. But yeah, this all seems good to me so far. So my next job, I think, is to make that join, which is pretty simple because it's practically straight. More progress, bloody good progress. The second silencer is in place, and as you can probably see from that angle, we're talking maybe 1.5 to 2 foot between the end of the downpipe and the back section of the exhaust. Basically the bit that just is going to go over the gearbox cross member. So yeah, fucking happy days. What I'm going to do for this, I'm going to put a V-band at the end of the downpipe, which I have to because the way it goes over, there's no way it can be any joined to any more of the downpipe. And there I think I should do it as well. So it's going to have a V-band either end, and that will hopefully allow that piece to come off fairly easy. I don't know until I check. It might be because I have to make sure the V-band can clear between the body and the fucking cross member too. But yeah, it's near as damn it there now, so that's brilliant. This bit's okay, like the silencer, as you can probably see, like if you look at the angles, is, you know, not low. It's no lower than that really, and it's certainly no lower than the gearbox cross member, so that's ideal. I can put my fingers all around it between the body and the silencer, so it's not like it's too close to the body, despite being close to the ground, not close to the ground either. The hardest thing was the join between the two silencers. My first idea design for this had the silencer probably only about 6 inches away from the other one, and it looked like it would fit, but then you realise the angle's wrong, like in both axes as well. So not only was it left to right wrong, but up and down wrong, the angle, so you couldn't just put a straight pipe. So I had to monkey about, and as well, it was complicated. It's hard to explain, but what I've got there is like a small pie cut, then a dead straight, a short dead straight, then a slightly angled bigger bit, and then another, I think that is angled slightly at one end. It's hard to, it's weird as fuck. It looks relatively straight, but it's not. It's like it waves, I think, up and down and then slightly to one side. It's by a few degrees, but neither boxes are in the same axis in any fucking direction, but only by a little bit. But that's what you need to do to keep it close to the body and far from the floor without being too much either way. That's the thing. I mean, most exhaust places or people with less fucking patience would just straight pipe that because it's not far off, but honestly it was just a bit too fucking wonky for me. I didn't like it like that, the clearance wise, so I spent far too much time chopping and fucking about of angles, and we're there. So now it's that final bit. I'm not going to do it tonight because A, it's late, and B, I want to speak to Thomas to see if it's worth putting a flexi in it as well. This car's going to have really good ground clearance for a 3-inch exhaust on a little car. But yeah, overall, very pleased with the mess I've made so far. Right, it's the next day from when you last saw me working on the exhaust, and I spoke to Thomas and he said, yeah, put a flexi pipe in it. So it's a good job I stopped when I did, because that gives me room for a flexi. He said, don't bother doing totally solid exhaust mounts like I was wondering. He said it tends to sound like shit too much. He said just use, if you get like poly ones, and if you angle them opposing directions, because obviously they tend to want to move in one direction only. If you put them in opposing directions, one next to each one along, it gives very little movement anyway, while still getting rid of the vibration of having it completely solid. So I'm going to do that. That's easy enough. So that's good. Another good bit of news is injectors for this has arrived. While it says that, which is some 2300cc Bosch injectors, they're not really. They are these ones, which are still massive. They're 1300cc. They're used ones that my friend Lee Connor had in his 8-second Elise, but he's going to full methanol and 8 of these gigantic motherfuckers. So I bought the old ones off him. So I've got 1300cc injectors for this, which is more than is needed, to be honest, but you know, ideal. So, and they will fit in the rail, which is the most important thing. Not done anything else this today, and I'm not going to either, because until the next video, because I'm fucking knackered. But I've done something else. I've bought another car, another project. It's not here yet. It will arrive tomorrow. I've not even seen it in the flesh. I literally didn't plan this at all. I saw it for sale on Marketplace, and me and Thomas was talking. I spotted it, and then 10 minutes later I went and bought it. Well, I paid for it. It's being dropped off here tomorrow, but that'll be in the next video, so you'll have to wait. But I will tell you one thing, the engine's broken. Wow. It runs and drives, but it's not healthy. But I just bought another one for it. Well, no, I didn't buy another engine. Yes, I bought another engine for it. It's a different engine to the one that's broken, but it's what's going to go in it. So that engine I just picked up in Thomas's Audi A6 All-Road will be going in it. Yeah, the car it's going in, I've never had before, and actually what it is incredibly unusual and rare in this country, but not for the reason you might think. It's weird. It's like, I don't even know why it's here, but fuck it, it's cool. But you'll see that in the next episode. But rest assured, it's probably the quickest project ever. It's going to be like hilariously fast. So it's not like it's going to take any time away from the others. If anything, it's going to give me stuff to do in the downtime, because I'm still waiting for the turbo for the Corolla. I got to wait for the flexi pipe for this and whatever. So, you know, keeps me doing shit. But yes, new project, new engine, new all sorts. I've ordered some more stuff for it as well, but that's the base engine. I've ordered some other bits and pieces. But you'll see that in the next episode. So hope you like this, and make sure you subscribe and all that, because, well, you're about to see a lot more. See you later.